এই অনুষ্ঠানটা এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য। ওভার টু ইউ স্যার।
Good afternoon, namaskar, and pranam to Mahaprajnananda Maharaj, Belur Math, Ramakrishna Mission Vidyamandira principal. আমার নমস্কার ইন্দ্রাশানন্দ মহারাজ, বেলুর মঠ স্বামী রামকৃষ্ণ মিশন বিদ্যামন্দিরের থেকে। আজকে যেই the kind of webinars that we have organized, the very purpose is quite different. So clinical research, clinical trials, we quite often come to know, like, when you get some ad, you say that it is clinically tested. Particularly after COVID, this particular skill set requirement has increased tremendously, because any drugs, either new or any enhancement, or even nowadays, even for any cosmetic products, which is claimed to be health fit, are needed to be go through the entire process of clinical trials. We have got an eminent speaker, they will tell you details, but what we practically conceptualized, we conceptualized about a year back, there's a need for skill set, because clinical government has become very well controlling the entire pharma industry. Anything that comes out has to be clinically tested. So that's why skill set requirements are. So we have conceptualized a particular program on clinical research associate. We thought that there's a need to be associates built up with a specific skill set that industry needs. What is the skill set? The entire value chain of the clinical research that starts with any pharma company or any production house trying to put their entire produce to a particular process. They need to take government approvals. The entire process of clinical trials, right from regulatory portions, protocol design, there are a lot of regulatory aspects, entire operations, clinical site management, clinical site readiness, then enter trial monitoring, collecting data, collating data, preparing research report, finally submission of those to pharma companies submitted to government for final approval. This entire process is a process where we thought we must develop a program. So this particular program was developed jointly, where Dr. Subhrojyoti Bhowmick, whom I'll introduce just now, has helped us a lot, and along with Life Science Sector Skill Development Council of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. We're the affiliated partner for this. So this is a very specific program developed jointly by us. Dr. Bhowmick supported us, and also Life Science Sector has jointly developed. So this is a unique skill set, and we'll explain a little more detail as we go forward. But the entire webinar to understand what is actually clinical research, what it makes to make a career in clinical research, what skills is required, what industry requires. So that is the purpose of the entire webinar. Our speakers will speak on various areas. Particularly, this will matter to those who have got basic backgrounds. This is one particular program where your past background matters. You can utilize your knowledge, whatever educational background you have got, to turn out to be a clinical research associate. I'll introduce our speakers today, and as and when somebody comes, I'll introduce them. So I'll first now request Swami Mahaprajnananda, of principal of Ramakrishna Mission Vidyamandir, Belur Math. We are very happy that we are collaborating with Ramakrishna Mission Vidyamandir, Belur Math, and all of you know it is a NAC A ++ accredited and All India 9th rank in NF ranking. We are very fortunate that such kind of organizations have joined with us. We are collaborating. It is our good fortune that we have done. So I convey my first namaskar to pranam to Thakur, Ma, and Shamiji, and request Swami Mahaprajnananda to inaugurate this particular webinar.
Thank you, Kulhan Babu. First, at the outset, I seek the blessings of Thakur Ma and Swamiji for this success of this entire program. Now, and I thank Kulhan Babu and all other associates of Neotia Skill Academy for initially organizing such kind of informative, educative webinar. Well, the need of clinical research right now, everybody, it is not unknown to anyone. Medical science, especially this clinical field, it has reached to certain extent where almost apart from innovating drugs and you know intervention to many areas. Today, additionally, right now, artificial intelligence has also started playing a very crucial role in clinical biology. So, with all this, it is needless to mention that how important it is. It is perhaps the need of power, and I also welcome and I give my best wishes to especially to all the participants today who joined us in this program and who will be joining us soon in future also. What plan we do have in near future, we are going to launch. We have already launched and we are going to launch number of programs. So, and I once again I seek blessing of the Holy Tribe for this success of this entire webinar. And with one word, I will conclude that see the necessity of this clinical research. Uh, we have our distinguished speakers to enlighten you all regarding this. The necessity of this clinical research, it is we should not think that it is only restricted and it is only fruitful for the students who studied biology or any kind of life science as a subject, but for all the people from all walks of life, people from all spheres of study, they can also make them enriched by having such kind of knowledge of this clinical research. With this, once again, I welcome all and I thank Pullan Babu and all other associates of our Neotia Skill Academy for organizing such a beautiful webinar. And of course, my best wishes to Swami Mahaprajnananda, who was the key person to make this liaison, make this bond tie up between the Ramakrishna Mission Vidyamandira and Neotia Skill Academy. Thank you. Pullan Babu, we can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. My pranam to you, Maharaj, because it is pleasure always to listen to you. We get guided and motivated whenever you speak to us. Yes, it is certainly so that with this relationship between us has developed because you supported as well as Jit Maharaj has supported us. Your points of view are well taken. I think next speaker, our main speaker on this particular technical sessions will be Dr. Bhowmick, who will take over from the point where we have left. I'll just try to introduce Dr. Bhowmick. Dr. Subhrojyoti Bhowmick is currently the clinical director in PLS Hospital. As I told you that this particular course has been co-developed, taking his input, and we have got one more speaker, Sabyasachi Banerjee from Infoclin. So Infoclin, Dr. Bhowmick in his personal capacity, and we jointly developed this particular program along with Life Science Secretary Council of Government of India. Dr. Bhowmick has got more than 15 years of experience in clinical research and pharmacovigilance, medication, and patient safety. He has got great global connections. He has got certificate from Stanford University on clinical research. He worked there for almost 3 years. He has got certificate from John Hopkins Institute of Patient Safety. He has got fellowship from Iskua, Ireland. He is honorary lecturer in Institute of Chemical Science in University of Birmingham. He is also visiting scholar to Harvard Medical School. He worked at WHO Geneva on patient safety, particularly and I know particularly during that COVID period, he's one of the members of the WHO team when the COVID things was being controlled globally. He's a very good, well-known speaker. He speaks in various forums. You can get him speaking on various forum. He has got several laudings in his credit. He is also NABH assessor, and he has got several publications. So we are very lucky that this particular course program is associated, and he also takes classes whenever that. He actually the program director for this particular program. I hand over to you, Dr. Bhowmick. Just guide our audience who are really trying to understand. Most of them are trying to make a career in clinical research. I think if you can explain what is the clinical research all about, and also give an industry perspective to this particular.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Devnath. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. My pranam to Maharaj. Your blessings are required for this auspicious beginning. So my pranam to Maharaj, and definitely thanks to Neotia Skill Academy for inviting me here. And of course, my gratitude to CEO of the Neotia Skill Academy, Mr. Kulnan Devnath, who is instrumental in developing a lot of skill driven courses, and my dear friends who are here today to understand what this field of clinical trials is all about. Let me quickly pull my slides, and you can see my slides when I speak. So it will help me to share what this field is about and what people like you could be doing. So please let me know if my slides are visible.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, yes.
Okay, so it will take some time. Before that, I really want to thank all of you to taking because who have taken out time to kind of be here. This is really it's taking more. Should come now. So first thing is, what is this clinical research associate course? I think the slides should have come now. It has the slides come.
Yes, slide has come.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about today what is the career opportunities in the clinical trial industry, and this particular course will help you enter with an admit card into the clinical trial industry, because this is a very, very important industry. It's an industry which showed a lot of growth during COVID-19 pandemic, where other industries did not function. So let me begin with a disclaimer that whatever I will speak to you today has got no association with the hospitals or the medical colleges I'm associated with, and it's completely my own views. So when you got this particular information, COVID-19 vaccine, Covishield or Covaxin was approved, all of us were happy. And let me tell you, the reason why Covishield or Covaxin was approved in this country is because of clinical trials. Many of you have taken this vaccine. We have taken the vaccine, and that's the result that the COVID pandemic is now history. So, how did this vaccine develop? This vaccine was developed through the clinical trial process, and there are various phases of the clinical trials. It starts with there's a preclinical phase where you will have the vaccine or the product developed in an animal, very commonly in a monkey or in chimpanzee, which is very nearer to the human beings genetically, and then it moves into phase one, phase two, phase three, and then approval comes, and post-marketing surveillance happens, which is after the drug is launched into the market. Now, let me tell you, friends, that out of 10,000 molecules which enter into phase one, only one molecule will get the approval. So there is a rejection rate of 99%, and as a result of which, the work done in these phase one, phase two, phase three regarding collection of the drug efficacy and safety, this is a very important job done not only by doctors but by clinical research associate. So when you become clinical research associate, after this course is developed, then you will be employed by companies who do the clinical trials, They can be in the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or they could be once they have come out in the market for safety surveillance, it could be in the phase 4. So there is a lot of job opportunities which are waiting for you in the market. So I'm not going to get much into details on the phase 1. Phase 1 is primarily in healthy volunteers like you, where we try to look at the safety of the drug. Phase 2 is on the efficacy, means how good the drug is working, কতটা ভালো করে এই ওষুধটা কাজ করছে, whether এই ওষুধটা কাজ করছে কি করছে না তার জন্য we will have to test it in a group of patients. So if I have got a pain lowering medication or an analgesic for osteoarthritis of knee, পায়ে ব্যথা আছে তার জন্য আমরা নিউ অ্যানালজেসিক ডেভেলপ করছি, so we will compare it in osteoarthritis patient. One group will get a traditional drug, the other group will get the new drug, and then we follow it up in smaller number of patients. In the phase 2 usually you have around 100 to 300. In phase 3 you have from 300 to 1000, sometimes to 3000, and then of course when you go into the phase 4 you have thousands and millions of patients. So the essential element of all clinical trials is that the clinical trials are standardized experiments, they are conducted, they are monitored, they are audited, they are analysis. Everything has to be done in a very structured way, because we want the data which is developed or accumulated by the pharma companies, by the CROs, which is a contract research organization, and the SMOs. They need to be credible and accurate. And ultimately, we also want that the subjects or the patients who are participating in these clinical trials, their right, integrity, and confidentiality should be protected. So if you look at the global clinical trial market, the global clinical trial market is roughly around $500 now, and it is growing, of which 500 billion US dollars, I'm sorry, 500 billion US dollars now, of which around 65 billion US dollars is the R&D cost. That means that is utilized by the clinical trials. And on an average, if you see, it cost 280 million US dollars for the drug to come into the market, and around 7 to 10 years of lot of hard work is done by the pharma companies to develop these products. If you look the situation in India, the clinical research industry in India is growing like anything. The market currently was at around 2 billion US dollars around 2021, is there exactly when the COVID hit India, and it was growing at a compound annual growth rate of 8.2%. This is much more than what the digital industry is growing, or the IT industry is growing in the country. So it's a huge industry, and the reason why clinical trial industry is growing so much is because there's globalization of clinical trials, meaning lot of clinical trials which are done in America, done in UK, done in Australia are coming to this country. There is adoption of new technology. India is a digital health leader, so there's a lot of digital health trials which are being done here. India is 30 states, which has so many, different people. We are 1.4 billion people, so many patients and so many diseases. So everybody wants to come to India to do research, and then definitely focus of the Indian government on R&D. So with ever more investment going into clinical research sector, it is a great time to get involved in opportunities and expanding to a variety of trials within the industry. If you look at the COVID-19 phase, if there was a spurt during the COVID-19 phase, India approved over 100 global clinical trials, the highest number since 2013. And COVID hit 2020 also saw 87 global clinical trials in India. So when other industries were shutting down, industries like hospitality was closed, airline industry was suffering a major loss, it was the clinical trial industry which was growing leaps and bounds during the COVID-19 pandemic as well. So why is India a preferred choice? As I already mentioned, that the Indian government has made a lot of changes in the regulation, resulting in trials to come to India. India is a cheaper destination, so 60% cheap than United States for doing clinical trials. We have a large number of world-class hospitals, around 7,000, around 1,800 hospitals with more than 4,200 uh, doctors. We have huge investment in information technology. We have diverse patient pools. We have transparent adverse event reporting system, and India as a country has harmonized regulatory process with the international and the US standards. So why should you choose clinical research as a profession? If you are someone who has done, biology or pharmacy, and you want to help others and improve others' health, this is your field. You should help. You also have keen interest in developing drug development, then definitely this is your field because helping advanced drug development is rewarding. This is the only field which I could say, apart from the oil and sector field, which has never seen recession or stagnation. So this is a field which is only growing and growing, and by 2030 it will grow even bigger. If you are somebody who loves to travel across India, across the world, and you want to settle abroad, then definitely this is the field which you must come for. And definitely you have lucrative salaries over a period of time. If you're good at your work and you know the nuances of the clinical trial industry, you know the rules, regulations, you will definitely get good salaries. So where can you be employed? You could be employed majorly in academic institutions, in pharmaceutical companies. So academic institutions like the government has the MRU, the Medical Research Unit. You can get employed there. You can get employed in the pharmaceutical industry, in CROs, contract research organization, where the pharma outsource the work. In various, you can work with various doctors independently who want to do research, and you can be their right hand. You can work with service providers of various IT companies who are into clinical data management. You can work as a consultant. You can work with medical device companies as well. And overall, the job satisfaction is quite high in terms of flexibility of work schedule. Some of it is work from home, and people usually have found out that this is not a very bad career to be in. The jobs are offered by pharmaceutical industry, biotechnology companies, medical device companies, clinical data management companies, pharmacovigilance companies, medical writing companies, research sites, and auditing. So, this all, what kind of activities are done will be discussed in the course during the course of time. You can become, of course, if you're a doctor and you are listening to this presentation, you can definitely become a principal investigator. You can become a medical monitor, medical advisor. It could be a dental surgeon who is actually listening to this session. If you are a paramedic, DMLT, BMLT, you've done your B Farm, M Farm, you are a life sciences graduate, you have done your bachelor's in chemistry, bachelor's in physiology, bachelor's in botany, bachelor's in zoology, you can definitely be recruited as a clinical research associate, research manager, feasibility manager, regulatory manager. Now, this is just my presentation today is just a trailer of the movie which you see on Netflix. If you really want to understand what this movie is all about, then you have to join this course and experience. This is a career pathway. It's a busy slide. What I can tell you is that, of course, you will start with the CRC, but over a period of time, in next 5 to 10 years, you can become head of operations, associate director, and general manager. But most important thing is that you must know what is happening in the field. You must be resilient. You must be ready to learn. You must have a good interpersonal skills. That is extremely important. And this is just a nutshell on how much amount of money a clinical research professional can make. These are estimates from 2022. Of course, they have increased in due course of time. What do you need to become a successful clinical research professional? I think most important is positive attitude, because you will be dealing with doctors, you'll be dealing with patients. Very important, you'll be dealing with patients. You have to be patient listener, because your patients who will participate in clinical trials, they will have a lot of complaints. So you will have to be a patient listener. You must have good observation power. You must have good observational, good communication skills, written and oral, because it will require a lot of documentation effort on your part. And clinical research associate is all about documenting, documenting, and documenting. You must have a patient-friendly attitude. You must signify empathy and have good IT skills. Extremely essential is to have a clinical research training course and exposure to clinical trials during the course. So just having a theoretical course does not help you. So to summarize, I would say that the global pharmaceutical market is huge, around 500 million billion US dollars, of which the R&D is around 65 billion US dollars. When we look at India, the Indian market is growing leaps and bounds in terms of clinical trials. It's expected to grow 8.2% from 2 billion US dollars to become roughly around 10 billion US dollars by the year 2030, meaning more jobs for people like you. Why is this? Because India is still 60% cheaper than United States to conduct clinical research, and well-trained professionals make this as a great choice. There's a huge requirement for properly trained clinical research professionals, doctors in India, and to meet this need, I think this course becomes very, very handy. Variety of jobs exist in many sectors, including the pharmaceutical industry to the hospitals. But proper attitude, along with adequate clinical research training, is definitely required to become successful in this field. So, with this, I end my presentation. If there are any questions, you can definitely ask me. I can assure you that this is a great opportunity for all of you to learn this course and get your skills honed up in terms of clinical trials. So, any questions or comments, more than welcome.
I think if somebody has raised hand, you can ask some questions. Shumon raised his hand. Any questions? Please continue.
In a session, right?
Yeah. Any questions? Because he is busy person.
Hello,
Somebody raised
sir.
hand. Shomu, please.
I am in microbiology undergraduate now. So, how can I join in the course and the career in a clinical researcher?
You are doing which year are you? Which year you are in right now?
I am in my final semester
Final semester. So your exam will be over by which time?
by June.
June. So I think this is a perfect time to join the course because this is, I think Mr. Devnath will be the best person to answer this about the requirements. But definitely, with due respect to you, just a microbiology BSc degree will not get you a great job in the market because there are a lot of MSc microbiology there. And then, we have PhD microbiology people competing for a single job in the labs and in the industry. So having a professional degree like a clinical research associate just after your BSc will be better. You're not planning to do your masters, is it?
No, sir, I am planning for my MSc also.
Okay, so interim, I think you can definitely join this course, and I think it's pretty flexible. I think Mr. Devnath will be able to answer that, so you can manage this as well. Mr. Devnath, please.
Actually, this batch, second batch starts end of June. So I think it is right time you can continue because that is a great course. Even in our current batch, who has gone for internship, they have got several microbiology students. So I think the right time you can join, and just after your semester end, classes will start. We'll explain little more little later. Any other question? Okay, so I'll thank Dr. Bhowmick. it is always pleasure listening to rather. I've listened these things several times, but every time I listen to you is really a pleasure. I think people have got a lot of benefited. Those
Thank
who
you.
those join the course, they have got the opportunity to have sessions from Dr. Bhowmick. Dr. Bhowmick takes several classes in this particular course.
Yeah, I thank you once again. I would only tell the youngsters is opportunities never come again and again. If there is an opportunity coming and there is a course which is approved by the government, please try and join it. And definitely any skill-driven courses in clinical research industry is very highly um, appreciated. So don't waste time. You should try and join the goal as soon as possible. So best of luck to all of you. May you all do great in your career. Once again, thanks to Mr. Devnath for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be here, and best wishes for the course.
Thank you very much. In fact, to just follow up what he left, this is a 1 year course, 6 months intensive training, 6 months of internship. But within first 6 months itself, and after 3 months, you start doing the field work at actual sites. So there will be combinations of field work plus classes in 3 months, and first 3 months will be purely the classes. And so this is a very, so you will be working actually at the actual clinical research site. So you don't get opportunities like this where you get trained at the site. So I'll now go to the next speaker. I'll just find out whether Mr. Sabyasachi Banerjee has joined or not. Mr. Banerjee, have you joined? Mr. Sabyasachi Banerjee is the clinical director of Infoclin LLP. In fact, he is one of the persons who are intimately connected with the center projects. This project was conceived by Dr. Bhowmick, Mr. Banerjee, and me. In fact, for my current batch, 80% students have been absorbed by Infoclin. Infoclin has got 200 sites in Eastern India. So they are working in this side. Here the huge requirements. Requirements, etc., is secondary, but kind of support that Infoclin giving us in terms of delivery, in terms of industry implications, actual size they are working in. I'll request Mr. Banerjee, he's traveling now. So Mr. Banerjee to say few words in terms of industry and the careers. Mr. Banerjee? Actually, he's traveling. He's in Delhi. Mr. Banerjee, could you connect? Okay, I think some problem in. So what I'll do is, by the time he gets connected to us, I'll request Mr. Pankaj Roy Gupta. I'll introduce Mr. Pankaj Roy Gupta. He's one of our important support person. He's a eminent data scientist of this country and also an AI expert. He is associated with us for all the courses connected to data analytics and AI and the future skills program. One of the important components of clinical research is clinical data management. There is a particular module of clinical data management. In fact, the entire course has got three elements. One is clinical sites, clinical management, and clinical data management. So clinical data management portion Pankaj takes care, where a lot of IT and IT dimensions are there. In fact, that can be career for the CRAs in IT companies, because IT companies, whatever data is generated out of research, for that, IT companies also have got several service roles. For these service roles, they are also recruiting CRAs. So he's also taking some classes on this clinical data management. On this, I'll request our audience to speak on how clinical data management and clinical research are intimately connected. How the a role of a clinical research ultimately culminates into clinical data, and how ultimately goes to the clinical data management. If you can speak few words. Pankaj, I'll just caution if Mr. Sabyasachi somehow get connected, I'll interrupt you and get him.
Sure. So, thank you, Mr. Devnath. Let me quickly tell you, my name is Pankaj Roy Gupta. I work in the area of analytics, AI, and the emerging technologies. And I'm very closely associated with clinical research. And currently also, I'm executing a couple of projects on clinical research. But my area is on clinical data management. In fact, for the current batch, I have delivered few sessions, and after 4 sessions, all the students, they wanted to get connected very closely with me, and they wanted to understand the clinical data management, the type of software, the clinical applications, analytics, and one of the most important area where the industry need a lot of people, which is called clinical data visualizations. In fact, currently I'll just show you, I'm not taking any sessions for you all, but I will show you a couple of slides, and then I will show you a couple of clinical research protocols which we are doing jointly with a research organizations. It is promoted by KEM. Currently, I am based in Pune, but I regularly visit Calcutta. I am from Calcutta. I am an alumni of Jadavpur University and IIT Kharagpur, and I regularly visit Calcutta, but currently I am in Pune, and we do this clinical research projects with KEM Hospital. If you can visit Google, you can find out KEM Hospital has a very large research unit. It is a hospital. KEM also has a hospital in Mumbai, but the research center is based in Pune. And myself and a couple of my other colleagues, we are managing multiple clinical research projects and also clinical research related with the public health. Huge databases we manage, more than some project we have more than 10 lakh, 20 lakh projects. And we are also very closely associated with ICMR, which is a government body, and we also do some project which comes from the multiple international organizations. And we are also associated with the London School of Tropical Medicine, and we do projects jointly with them also. Okay, let me quickly tell you, in the entire clinical research project, let me first show you 1-2 protocols, what is required. You also will be learning this during this course, that how to prepare a protocols. And the most important part is that when you execute a clinical research, you have to start capturing the data. So how do you capture the data? From multiple sources. So you will also learn that in a clinical research, you will also learn the clinical research, you have to capture data which are...
Pankaj, can I a little bit interrupt? I see Subhrojyoti joined. He is actually traveling.
No problem. I'll take a pause.
Mr. Banerjee, can you just speak? Mr. Banerjee?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Please continue. Please continue, you are audible. I think we have to skip him because connections are very poor. Pankaj, please continue.
Connections are not stable. Yeah.
So please continue, Pankaj. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. So let me show you, 1-2 clinical research protocols, how we build protocols. And currently we are working on a clinical research project. The project value is 1.2 CR, 1.2 crores. And we have some funding organizations who have funded this project, and we are doing jointly with when we'll get Fedline. Okay, I don't know.
I'll address. You continue, please. You continue. Chat,
Yeah.
I'll add.
So this is one, this is a PDF file. This is a clinical study design. You all will learn this. The title of this, a non-randomized, uncontrolled trial to test and compare the accuracy, sensitivity, specificity of neurocell in different population groups. Now you will say that what is neurocell? You know, since 2018, I'm associated with AI, artificial intelligence healthcare product company. The company name is called InMed. And we have developed a product called NeuroSeal, which is used for detecting the brain health, epilepsy, Alzheimer, Parkinson, dementia, depression. So, you know, a few minutes back, Dr. Bhowmick said that the pharma company, the product company, the medical devices company, they also need to do research, clinical research. So we are a software product company. We are an AI healthcare product company. Our product name is NeuroSeal, which is used by more than 250 hospital, medical colleges, diagnostic centers across India. And this product is used where we take MRI scan data. MRI data is used. Today, most of the medical devices are digital device. We have recently developed a product which is called chest AI. So the X-ray data, chest X-ray data, which is an image data, which has to be embedded with the text data. Text means the patient name, address, then age. Age is a numeric data. So text, numeric, image, all will get merged, all will get combined, and then we do a lot of data cleaning activities, data orchestration activities, and then we use that for extracting intelligence using artificial intelligence model, data model. So this is a type of protocols that we need to write. So you have to have a methods, objective, what are the primary outcomes, what are the secondary outcomes, what is this age group for which, so if you see this, the subject will adults between 20 to 80 years. Now, these are the type of tests that we are supposed to do. Now, when you do this test, the data is coming from MRI, data is coming from blood pressure, sugar test. Now, how you will store that data? So you have to have a database, and that database is called clinical database. And you have to collect data, store data, use data, process and analyze the data, and then finally you have to generate report. Along with the report, you can also publish a lot of research paper. And most of these researchers who are doctors, who are principal investigators, you know, Dr. Bhowmick was talking. We have, in one of our projects, we have the India's #1. This is one protocol I have showed. Let me show you another. This is the current project which you are doing. This is the study design is mild cognitive impairment in type 2 diabetics mellitus patients using MoCA, MRI brain volumetric analysis, and quantitative EEG. Now, these are the tests for the people who are having diabetic 2, type 2 diabetics. Now, if you see this is the secondary endpoints, primary endpoints, study groups. Then these are inclusion criteria. Inclusion means who are the people who will be coming for this process and what are their criteria for selection. So here, if you see this, the age group is 55 to 80. So we need to get people who are in this age group. And then we have to do a lot of these tests. and collect the data. And after you collect the data, and these are called control. Whenever you do clinical trials, there is an inclusion and there are controls. And what are the exclusion criteria and what are the tests? If you see these are the tests for, okay, MOCA, structural MRI, then quantitative electrography, QEEG, and then laboratory test. Now this test you need to do. After doing this test, the data related with the test for one patient has to be stored into a database. Now where you will store this? There the question comes, clinical data management. For all the students who will be doing this course, they will be learning clinical data management. And in future, if you have an interest to work in the technology, see, you have to use technology. Remember, Dr. Bhowmick also was talking that, you have to use AI, artificial intelligence, analytics, research, and clinical data visualizations. Medical data visualization is a big field and very high demand in the industry. We are doing this project. Do you know our data visualization for this particular research project, we are giving it to an American company, US company, because in India, there are very less experts are available who can do these clinical data visualizations. In Neotia Skill Academy, we have another program which is called Data Analytics, Data Visualization using AI. Now, in that course, we teach a product which is called Power BI. It's a Microsoft product. Now, for clinical data visualization, you can also use Power BI. And there are some specific tools which are used for medical data visualizations, which is not, we don't teach those. Okay. But if you know Power BI, you can also do clinical data visualizations. I'll show you another protocol. I have a few more. So this is another protocol. This is the company InMed Prognostics. See, you have to write this sort of, document before it gets approved by the different committees. Now, quickly, I'll take you to a small presentation that what is this clinical data management, okay? Quickly. So clinical research and data management. So you have clinical research involves this. You will learn this. In the clinical research lifestyle, so these are the activities that you need to do. Planning, study, startup. We also have done this. We always do this. Then we have to do the conduct and monitoring, data collection and entry, monitoring the compliance and safety, data analysis and reporting. And then finally, you have to do the reporting, regulatory bodies, and then you can also publish some scientific your result in scientific journals. Now, these are the few very important stages which are related with clinical data management. So you have to have a clinical data manager. You have data entry specialist, biostatisticians. Maybe some of you must have studied statistics or biostat. Those who are, I think, microbiology or molecular biology or bioinformatics or biotechnology students, they must have studied biostatistics. But if you have not studied biostatistics, you can also use simple statistical technique to analyze the data, because you have to, if you would like to be in this particular area, you have to do the statistical analysis to interpret the data. So there are different inferential statistical technique like regression, random forest, decision tree, correlation. So you have to use this for extracting intelligence. Now, these are the three important activities: data collection, data cleaning, data analysis. And what are the challenges that you need to do? You need to face. You have to ensure the data accuracy and completeness, very important. And sometimes you have to manage large volume of data, and you have to follow the regulatory compliances. I think Dr. Bhowmick was talking about that. So there are different ways by which today technology helps us in managing this. I'll just quickly tell you some of the software which are used in the clinical data management. One of the easiest tool which I teach to our student is called MySQL Workbench. And then you have the other tool, Medidata Array, Oracle Clinical, IBM Clinical, RedCap, and Viva Vault, Clean Capture. Ninth one, Open Clinica. This is the software which we are using. We use Open Clinica. And it is an open source platform for clinical data capture, management, and analysis. Most of the the research organizations which are executing project based upon their own money, so they don't have large volume of money. But if you are getting fund from the international organizations or large pharma companies, so they use licensed clinical data management software. But Open Clinica is a very powerful tool, and it helps us in doing this. So out of this, there are maybe hundreds such type of product. Out of this, I am just showing two products which are very widely used: Open Clinica, and the second one is called RedCap. So I generally give some exposure to the Open Clinica, and we do some hands-on using MySQL Workbench. This particular, the first one. So these are certain technical things which I generally teach.
I'll have to cut you short, Pankaj, because of
just
of
1
time.
minute. 1 minute. So there are certain roles and the responsibility the clinical data management people have to do. So these are some of these roles. So I think so this is the entire flow. So you have to first, I showed you the trial protocol, investigator selection, approval process, patients recruitment. Then you have to create this case report form. Then data entry comes, DB, database, analysis, reporting, and then submission. So these are the process flow. So I will stop here because I think there are other activities that you need to do. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, we have got some digital limitations for this.
Right. Sorry.
So that's why I had to cut it short. Otherwise,
no problem. So maybe those who are interested to know about clinical data management, I can take a 1 hour session on this.
So we'll have a separate webinar on digital data management, separate webinar on this subject only. We'll do that. In fact, as I said, as indicated, this is an important module that we'll have got, but we may not, unless this elective, this is an elective one, is taken by any student very strongly. We may not go to the at that link, but Pankaj is now taking classes for this particular batch. So substantial portion of clinical data management will be taken, except deep down on the development side. So development side, software development issues will not be part of this particular curriculum, but use of the software, use of data management will be part of the curriculum. So you'll get to listen to him when you join this particular program. Thank you, Pankaj. It is always pleasure listening to you. Okay, I'm sorry that I had to cut you short. Now I'll invite our Dr. Shoumini Chakraborty. She is medical officer of R Bangur Hospital. She is one of the important trainer for particular part of the program. He was principal investigator for about 10 years in clinical research. So PI role is very, very important in clinical research. She carries with her very long exposure. She is taking classes, and my students will vouch for kind of classes that she takes. Students can come at even odd hours to take go through her classes. So I'll request Dr. Shoumini Chakraborty to speak on the area, so that whatever it ultimately culminates into whatever discussions taking place, and there will be many queries in terms of job role, in terms of industry, in terms of how the strain and stress that you have to take in care of to take care of the entire academic processes, so you can cover the entire gamut. They'll be guided.
Hello.
You are audible.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Hmm. Actually, I think my video is not working.
You can share. Can you have a screen share?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, now it's working. Good afternoon, you all. Hi, students. So, I'm giving you a very small, brief scope of clinical research. When clinics and research are amalgamated, we get clinical research. Clinical research is not just restricted to allopathic medicine, but chemical formula testing, medical equipment viability testing, everything includes in it. Even items of daily use like shampoo, face cream also are part of clinical trials. In trials, it is not just positive results are important, but reporting of any slag in this process, documenting and reporting of adverse events, serious adverse events, and are extremely important. Actually, they make the development error free and safe for the human use. I've been personally involved in so many clinical trial projects involving varieties of areas ranging from oncology, infant milk formula, pediatric, rheumatology, cardiology, so and so. For the purposes of registration, a clinical trial is any research study that prospectively assigns human participants or a group of humans to one or more health related interventions to evaluate the effect of the health outcomes. Clinical trials is it is not a new era, but the studies of the new drugs about their treatment, how to act on on the human body, its outcome, and everything are in documented format. Because we are doing trial, but later when anybody want to see what the effect was, if it is not properly documented, we cannot get that later. So documentation process is very much important. People volunteer to take part in clinical trials to test medical interventions including drugs, cells, other biological products, biologics, surgical procedures, radiological procedures, devices, behavioral treatment, preventive care. Nowadays, PRP therapy is very much popular for the hair growth, for the it is side by side botox treatment, side by side. It is very much popular. All once upon a time, everything was under trial. Clinical trial are carefully designed and viewed and completed and need proper approval before it is getting started. It has 4 phases: phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, why the demand is so increasing demand for clinical trial? Nowadays, all our lifestyle is very complicated and very fast. So, the raising prevalence of lifestyle diseases, better to say disorders, in India necessitates the development and testing of new treatment methods, further propelling the clinical trial market. So, the lifestyle disorder is increasing day by day. Thus, the clinical trial, new drugs are coming, and as new drugs are coming, clinical trial is very much needed for marketing or before marketing. Any new drug development has to pass through the phases of clinical trial as per government and regulatory body mandates. What is the career prospect for CRA, Clinical Research Associate? Now, clinical research associate get absorbed in numerous fields like pharmaceutical company, vaccine manufacturing company, biomedical research industries, biomedical equipment research industries, lab equipment, gadgets manufacturing industries, prescription analysis, medical coding, artificial intelligence in medical legal background, medical transcription, medical writing, and protocol writing. These fields offers good opportunity to research minded students for the stream of bioscience. Any bioscience is biotechnology, microbiology, physiology, pharmacology, pharma background, BMLT, BDS, BUMS, to apply their theoretical knowledge to the practical field. Because we are studying a thing, but we cannot get the actual area where we can apply our theoretical knowledge. But this is the field. What we study, we can apply in our practical. This offers a quick entry into the job market as the demand is increasing, and also helps the student in work in the field of research, which is both exciting and very highly remunerative. The course offered by Neotia Skill Development Academy is uniquely designed and delivered to make the students grow as a clinical research professional. Clinical research course is a 1-year course with 6-month intensive class training and 6-month mandatory internship. The course is approved by Life Science Sector Skill Development Council, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, and students will be certified by them. The curriculum has been designed in collaboration with industry partners, and the training for the first 6 months is integrated with field work at actual trial sites, which is very much exciting because trial is going on. They can able to see how the trial is going on. They can be participated, being a part of that clinical trial. The course is delivered by experts in the field of clinical trial and research, including the veterans who are currently engaged in clinical trials, blended with the hands-on training with mock and demo sessions and highly quality contents. The course is designed to train the students to make them grow as a clinical research professional, covering the entire value chain from the regulatory matters to compliance with GMP, GCP, ICMR, ethical committee, and other environmental regulatory guidelines, trial site coordination, trail monitoring, reports, documentation, everything. So we can say our study course has a broad coverage which provides in-depth knowledge on protocol design, CRF making, taking informed consent, handling adverse events, clinical site and trial readiness. Can discharge responsibilities connected to the clinical trial monitoring, site coordination, coordination with the supervisor, colleagues, respond to audit queries during GMP and regulatory audits. And in this course includes how to behave, how to speak, what should be your body language. That is very important because students are coming from different places of West Bengal, and they need to learn how they sit, how they talk, how they give the answers. That is very important. So total grooming is done during this package. Monitoring clinical trials for effectiveness, ethical practice, safety, and participants during the clinical trial for safety and their rights. Making reports, clinical data management, and research documentation. This course has 6 months of classroom session and 6 months of on-site training. The classroom sessions are also very interesting because all we are teachers are try to make the students are participated in this classroom, and quick quizzes and doing presentations, and so many fun games, so many debates we are preparing. And the classroom session also covered a lot of practical classes. The students are given individual projects on different aspects of clinical trial. And every individual students are giving separate type of clinical trial, separate type of projects, separate genre project. No two projects are similar. Like filling of case record form, adverse event reporting template presentation, and the students are involved in role play based in practical sessions. Like somebody is taking informed consent from the patient, somebody is PI, and somebody is CRA. So how they are doing the adverse event management, how they are doing ethical committee conduct, how they are doing SQV, site qualification visit. So there are so many role plays that are practical sessions occur in the class. So thank you all. Thank you, students.
Thank you, Dr. Chakraborty. In fact, he almost took a sessions on intercourse. She is very fluent in this subject, very authoritative. And as I indicated to you that she takes a lot of classes and students are very fond of her. Few things that he has mentioned, I'll also repeat, that will clarify many of the areas. One thing's very intense training. The syndicated projects. You'll be surprised to know that we have got around 20 students now in this batch, and 20 projects that she has given. Each of the projects are highly qualitative. When I send these projects to SSKM, NRS, and other places, they're surprised to see how a student with this kind of background, biotechnology, microbiology, physiology, somebody has pharmacology, or somebody is BMLT, how they can make this kind of projects. Very intensive, not only Dr. Chakraborty gives the project, Sabyasachi also gives projects. A lot of evolution takes place, so it becomes very intensive. Reason for being intensive is they are being developed for the industry. After 3 months, she said about after 6 months, compulsory mandatory paid internships. But what going by the industry requirements, after 3 months itself, we send them to the sites. I'll just invite one student now to speak about her experience in the site. But before that, this is the inter requirement. So I think it makes a very good career for this kind of student that she has mentioned because কি হবে জানেন আমি একটু বাংলায় বলি একটু কি হবে আমরা যে ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করে আসছি এই ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটাকে ইউজ করে একটা কেরিয়ার তৈরি করা আমাদের সবসময় সম্ভব হয় না যে ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড হোক পার্টিকুলারলি সায়েন্স ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড তো অনেক সময় আমি নিজে ফিজিক্স নিয়ে পাশ করেছি আমার ক্যারিয়ার অন্য দিকে চলে গেছে বাদে একটা বায়ো সায়েন্সের স্টুডেন্ট বা যারা জড়িত আছে তারা যদি তার এই স্কিল সেটটাকে অ্যাপ্লাই মানে এই নলেজটাকে অ্যাপ্লাই করে করতে পারে এর থেকে ভালো স্যাটিসফ্যাকশন হয় না যার জন্য আমি একটা প্রাইম টাইম ইনভেস্ট করেছি আমার ক্যারিয়ারে সেইটাকে আমি ইনভেস্ট করতে পারছি টু অ্যাকোয়ার সাম অ্যাডিশনাল স্কিলস অ্যান্ড গেট ইট ডান আরেকটা কথা আপনি সব স্পিকার থেকে শুনতে পেরেছেন আপনারা এটা ভীষণ ক্যাপটিভ প্রোগ্রাম একটা ইট ইজ বিং ডান ফর সামবডি এই সামবডিকে সামবডি ফার্মা কোম্পানি সিআরও আর এসএমও এদের জন্য আমরা করছি সো দ্যাট এন্টার থিং গেট অ্যাপ্রুভ আর সবচেয়ে বড় কথা অ্যাপ্রুভ হলে তো হবে না when অ্যাপ্লাই টু দি হিউম্যান বডি সেটা যেন এফেক্টিভলি ফাংশন করে সো দ্যার লট অফ রিস্ক ইনভলভ এই কাজটা ভেরি ক্যাপটিভ একটা প্রোগ্রাম প্রত্যেকটা প্রজেক্ট আলাদা আলাদা হয় সো আমার মনে হয় নিজের বিদ্যাটাকে ইউজ করে এই কাজটা করতে পারলে স্যাটিসফ্যাকশন থাকবে আর আমরা যেভাবে শেখাচ্ছি বা আমরা 3 মাস পরে যখন সাইটে যাচ্ছে আর যে অঙ্কোলজি ডিপার্টমেন্ট এসএসকেএম এর যে কমেন্ট করছেন আমাদের স্টুডেন্ট সম্বন্ধে রিয়েলি ভেরি স্যাটিসফাইং এই ক্রেডিটটা কিন্তু ডক্টর চক্রবর্তী ডক্টর ভৌমিক ডক্টর সৌম্যরা আসতে পারেননি অ্যাটেন্ড করতে পারেননি দেন we have got host of 10 trainers they are all doctors and associated with the industry এরা যে পড়াচ্ছেন তারই ফলশ্রুতিতে কিন্তু এই ধরনের আমরা ইম্প্যাক্ট পাচ্ছি আমার মনে হয় ইট ক্লারিফাইস মেনি থিংস জব রোডটা কি হবে কি ধরনের আমি চাকরি পেতে পারবো একটা স্লাইডে ডক্টর ভৌমিক ইন্ডিকেট করেছেন যে স্যালারি রেঞ্জটা কি হয় আমরা এগুলো আমরা শেয়ার করে দেবো টু দি যারা পার্টিসিপেট করেছে অভিযানে আমি সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি তবে আমি জিৎ মহারাজকে ডাকার আগে আমি আমার একটি স্টুডেন্টের অভিজ্ঞতার কথা বলবো সাইটের অভিজ্ঞতার কথা বলবো বা এই কোর্সের সম্বন্ধে বলবো সায়ন্তী ইফ ইউ আর দেয়ার তুমি বলতে পারো সংক্ষেপে বলবে তোমার বেসিক অভিজ্ঞতাটা
hello everyone, am I audible?
হ্যাঁ শোনা যাচ্ছে বলো
Yes.
Good evening everyone. I am Shayanti Das and I am currently pursuing CRA PG diploma course in Neotia Skill Development Academy. So আমি এটাই বলতে চাই যে বিইং আ স্টুডেন্ট ইন এনএসডিএ ইজ ভেরি কমফোর্টেবল ইন, আমি বলতে চাইছি এটাই যে মানে এডুকেশনালি যে একটা কমফোর্ট জোন দেওয়া হয়েছে, আমাদের একটা এনভায়রনমেন্ট দেওয়া হয়েছে, যে ক্লিনিক্যাল রিসার্চে প্রত্যেকটা পার্ট আমাদের খুব ভালোভাবে এখানে শেখানো হয়েছে। আমার রেসপেক্টেড টিচার্সরা অলরেডি বলেছেন যে তার মানে ক্লিনিক্যাল রিসার্চের যে ইমার্জিং স্কোপ সম্পর্কে বা তার যে জব রোলগুলো আছে এগুলোর অলরেডি এখানে ডিসকাস করা হয়েছে। বাট আমি অ্যাজ আ স্টুডেন্ট আমার যে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স ছিল সেটা একটু শেয়ার করতে চাই সংক্ষেপে, যে আমাদের টেকনিক্যাল পোর্শনসগুলো খুব ভালোভাবে এখানে করানো হয়েছে। প্রত্যেকজন ফ্যাকাল্টি প্রচণ্ড এক্সপিরিয়েন্স ছিলেন, অ্যান্ড দে আর এক্সপিরিয়েন্সড হ্যান্ডস অন অ্যান্ড ভেরি স্কিল্ড। অ্যান্ড ভৌমিক স্যার, সব্যসাচী স্যার, সৌমিনী ম্যাম, এনারা খুব প্রচণ্ডভাবে আমাদের হেল্প করেছেন আমাদের এই টেকনিক্যাল পোর্শনগুলো ডেভেলপ করার জন্য। অ্যান্ড সফট স্কিলের ম্যাম ছিলেন কন্যাকুমারী ম্যাম, যিনি আমাদের শিখিয়েছেন কীভাবে হাউ টু ড্রেস আপ, হাউ টু টক টু আ সিনিয়র, or how to coordinate with the team member in office, and we have to do a lot of multitasking here. So কিভাবে একটা কাজ করতে করতে আর একটা কাজ মানে কেউ দিলে সেটা কিভাবে হ্যান্ডেল করতে হয়, কিভাবে প্রেশার সিচুয়েশন ডিল করতে হয়, কিভাবে স্ট্রেস ম্যানেজমেন্ট করতে হয়, এই সব কিছু সম্পর্কে আমাদের স্কিলগুলো ডেভেলপ করা হয়েছে। অ্যান্ড সেগুলো ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি ধরে ধরে মানে গ্রস ভাবে না। তো এটা আমার বেসিক্যালি আমার নিজস্ব এক্সপিরিয়েন্স খুব ভালো ছিল, অ্যান্ড আমাকে পার্সোনালি ভীষণ হেল্প করেছে, অ্যাজ আ পার্সন গ্রো করতেও হেল্প করেছে, নট অনলি প্রফেশনালি। অ্যান্ড ক্লাসগুলো প্রচণ্ড এঙ্গেজিং ছিল, এরকম না যে জাস্ট বাসায় লেকচার শুনলাম অ্যান্ড চলে গেলাম, এরকম না, খুবই এঙ্গেজিং ছিল। আমরা বিভিন্ন অ্যাক্টিভিটিসে পার্টিসিপেট করেছি, লাইক গ্রুপ ডিসকাশনস, different type of project making like CRF making, protocol making, and in different topics. And আমরা সেমিনার দিয়েছি, মানে প্রেজেন্ট করেছি, কিভাবে পাবলিকলি স্পিক আউট করতে হয়, সে সব কিছু এখানে শেখানো হয়েছে। সো আমার অল মানে ওভারঅল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স আমার খুব ভালো ছিল। এখন নতুন সিডিএম ক্লাসটা আমাদের স্টার্ট করা হয়েছে, যেটা একটা মানে ক্লিনিক্যাল রিসার্চের একদম ভীষণ একটা খুব ইমার্জিং স্কোপকে নিয়ে আসবে। অ্যান্ড সো আই এম হোপফুল ফর মাইসেলফ অলসো। সো থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিওয়ান।
থ্যাংক ইউ শান্তি। আই থিঙ্ক দ্যাট কালমিনেটস। আমি জিৎ মহারাজকে ডাকার আগে কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকলে তোমরা বলতে পারো, আমি অ্যান্সার দিতে চেষ্টা করবো। ডোন্ট হেজিটেট, কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকলে বলো। আই থিঙ্ক মেনি অফ দ্য থিংস হ্যাভ বিন অলরেডি ডিসকাসড, বা কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকলে বলতে পারো। যদি না থাকে তোমার ইউ আর অলওয়েজ ওয়েলকাম। তোমাদের তো হোয়াটসঅ্যাপের সঙ্গে তোমাদের কানেক্ট। হ্যাঁ, আমরা পিপিটি যেটা আছে, পিপিটিটা তোমাদের ইসেতে মেইলে পাঠিয়ে দেবো। তোমরা যেটা রেজিস্ট্রেশন করেছো, মেইলটা দিয়েছো, মেইলে পাঠিয়ে দেবো। একটা কোশ্চেন এসেছিল পিটি কিভাবে পাবো। হ্যাঁ, সৌম্য কোশ্চেনটা করেছিল। এনিবডি এলস? থ্যাংক ইউ ডক্টর দাস, ডক্টর সঞ্চিতা দাস। হ্যাঁ, এটা যিনি বলছেন স্টার্টিং স্যালারি কত হবে, এটা আমরা ওপেনলি আলোচনা না করে ডক্টর ভৌমিক একটা স্লাইড দিয়েছিলেন। যখন তো ডক্টর ভৌমিকের তোমরা দেখবে, সেটা তোমরা বুঝতে পারবে যে কত কি ধরনের রেঞ্জের মধ্যে পাওয়া যায়। তবে একটা কথা আমি বলে রাখি, এই যে স্যালারির ব্যাপারটা সবসময় ডিপেন্ড করে স্কিলসের উপরে। এটা মনে রাখবে, অন্য জবের সঙ্গে এই জবের তফাৎটা কোথায়। তফাৎটা হচ্ছে এটা একদম ভেরি স্পেসিফিক, ভেরি ক্যাপটিভ একটা স্কিল সেট। এখন তোমরা তোমাদের কোনো ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড হয়তো কাজের অভিজ্ঞতা নেই, তোমরা একটা যখন যদিও ইন্টার্নশিপ করতে করতে তোমরা অনেকটা অভ্যস্ত হয়ে যাবে, কাজের মধ্যে অভ্যস্ত হয়ে যাবে। যারা ইন্টার্নশিপ দেবে তারা তোমাদেরকে চাকরি দেবে বলে ইন্টার্নশিপ করবে। সো দ্যাট বিকাম দ্য এন্ট্রি পয়েন্টস। 1 বছর যদি তোমরা সিআর হিসেবে কাজ করো, দেন দেয়ার বি মানে নো বাউন্ড, মানে তোমার লিভস এন্ড বাউন্ডে ফরওয়ার্ড করতে পারবে। আমরা যেভাবে পড়িয়েছি বা আমরা যেই জায়গায় তোমাদেরকে ইন্টার্নশিপ দেবো, হ্যাঁ, সেটা আমরা সেভাবে হবে। দুটো কোশ্চেন আছে, একটা হচ্ছে যে কবে কোর্সটা শুরু হবে। আমাদের অ্যাডমিশন চলছে, আমাদের কোর্সটা জুনের এন্ডে শেষ হবে, কারণ এই যে সায়েন্সদের ব্যাচটা আছে, সেই ব্যাচটা জুনের এন্ডে ওরা এসে চলে যাবে, জুনের মাঝামাঝি ওরা চলে যাবে ইন্টার্নশিপের মধ্যে, ফিল্ড ওয়ার্কে আছে, তাদের এক্সামিনেশন আছে। সো জুনের এন্ডে উইল স্টার্ট দি ব্যাচ। সো হ্যাভ গট টাইম টু রিয়েলি ডেলিভারি। এরপরেও আমরা একটা, যারা নাকি তোমরা জয়েন করবে মানে অ্যাডমিশন নেবে, ফর্ম ফিল আপ করবে, তাদের নিয়ে আমরা আরেকটা ক্যাপটিভ প্রোগ্রাম করব। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বলুন মিস্টার ব্যানার্জি, সব্যসাচী ব্যানার্জি, উনি মাঝে মাঝে যোগাযোগ করতে চেষ্টা করছিলেন। বলুন মিস্টার ব্যানার্জি।
Good evening.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওনাকে আমার মিস
I
করেছি
hope
তখন।
I'm audible
যারা
now.
আছেন তারা
I was
বলুন
traveling
বলুন।
badly.
হ্যাঁ
Okay.
বলুন।
So I wish all of you very, whoever has joined this webinar, I would like to congratulate all of you that you have done the, remarkable job in this year, because this webinar will make your life and your career easier. Who will join this course will also, help each one of you to develop your career in clinical research. Clinical research is, right now blooming in India and outside India as well. So we need trained manpowers. So if you join the course, it will help you. Definitely, it will help you to grow your career. And this course is already in run, and we got one batch also. They are also performing well, and they will be placed in different companies very soon. So I hope everybody has dream to achieve in small time. So you should join this industry. It is very much prosperous as well as very much paidful also. So you will get good amount of money, and you will get good amount of respect as well, and you will work in the research industry. So that is also another feather in your uh, head. So I will request all of you, all the very best, and join the course. I will see you over there.
থ্যাংক ইউ মিস্টার ব্যানার্জি। ইনফ্যাক্ট আমি যেটা বলছিলাম তোমাদের, যে ডক্টর ব্যানার্জি ট্রাভেল করছেন এবং ট্রাভেল করছেন বিজনেস পারপাসে। মানে ইনফোক্লিন হ্যাজ এ লট অফ সাইটস ইস্টার্ন ইন্ডিয়া, out of India, also other parts of the country, and he is one of the main person who joined Dr. Bhowmick and us to this program. So he'll give support, takes extremely good class, and is very tough in the classes, gives projects, evaluations, many things will do. In fact, so busy schedule. So I think you have listened from him, the industry partner that associated, the job opportunities huge, you will be paid very good amount of money. I think let us focus on getting the skill set, do that program, don't think of the money. Money will come to you. Because the way you are training, the way you made the entire program linked, you'll be doing internship, field work, no doubt that you will learn. So rest depends upon you, so that you can really bargain high in the market. But yes, after internship, first 1 year, you will have to really get acquainted with these areas, on the job skill set. So it is always প্লিজার। দেখা হবে মিস্টার ব্যানার্জি আপনার সঙ্গে, আপনি কলকাতা ফিরলে, উইল ওয়ার্ক দ্যাট আউট। সো আমার মনে হয় একজন যা প্রশ্ন করেছিল উত্তর আমি দিয়েছি। কোর্স স্টার্ট কবে আমি বলে দিয়েছি। হ্যাঁ, একজন বলেছে আই এম স্টুডেন্টস অফ আর্টস। হ্যাঁ, এই আর্টস স্টুডেন্ট হলে এটা করা একটা অসুবিধা আছে, বিকজ বায়ো ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড স্টুডেন্ট না হলে আর্টস স্টুডেন্টদের এটা করা যাবে না। আই এম সরি, বিকজ এই সেগুলো দেখে থাকবেন যে প্রেজেন্টেশন গুলো, কথা বলে শুনে, ইউ নিড সায়েন্স ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড, অ্যাকচুয়ালি কেমিস্ট্রি ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড হলে হবে। আর হ্যাঁ, বাকি কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার হয়ে গেছে। I think if no other questions, we'll just 10 seconds. If there's any questions, raise your hand. Or yeah, sir, how to get admission in the course? Will it be paid internship program after 6 months? Yes, it will be paid internship program after 6 months. You'll be paid, and then our team will explain you. Please connect with our team. I've noted your name, so they will connect you to tell you how much, etc. Everything they will tell you. So all of them, my team will connect with you, send you the admission form link, and it will be done. Don't worry about it. You have listened to Shanti, get excited about the way she is excited, get excited about this. Any other 10 seconds more? Any other questions? আর কিছু আছে কোশ্চেন? আচ্ছা, আমার মনে হয় বাকি কোশ্চেনগুলো আমরা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে আলোচনা করবো। ইয়ার অলওয়েজ ওয়েলকাম। আমি ইন্দ্রচন্দ্র মহারাজ, আমরা জিৎ মহারাজ বলে বলি, রামকৃষ্ণ মিশন বিদ্যা মন্দির, ওনার অনুপ্রেরণা, উনি যেভাবে ড্রাইভ করেছেন পুরো ব্যাপারটাকে, তার জন্য কিন্তু আমরা আজকে জয়েন্টে কাজ করতে পারছি। আমি জানি যে অলমোস্ট 7-8 মাস ধরে আমরা কথাবার্তা বলছিলাম বিভিন্ন ফোরামে, তারপরে আমরা এই মুহূর্তে করেছি। তো ইট ইজ এ স্কলার, হি ইজ অ্যাসোসিয়েটেড বিদ্যামন্দির আমরা জানি, হি ইজ এ স্কলার। তো উনি আছেন আমাদের প্রোগ্রামটার সঙ্গে, আমাদেরকে যথেষ্ট উদ্দীপনা দেয় আর ইন্সপায়ার করে। এই প্রোগ্রামটি সাকসেসের পেছনে ওনার যথেষ্ট অবদান আছে। মহারাজ, আপনি যদি একটু ওয়াইন্ড আপ করেন প্রোগ্রামটা।
নমস্কার সকলকে, আমাদের শোনা যাচ্ছে তো?
হ্যাঁ, শোনা যাচ্ছে মহারাজ, বলুন মহারাজ।
নমস্কার। তো সুন্দর ওয়েবিনারটি সমাপ্তির পথে। এখন ক্লিনিক্যাল রিসার্চ অ্যাসোসিয়েট, এটা সম্বন্ধে আমিও বিশেষ কিছু জানতাম না, তো কল্যাণ স্যারের থেকেই সমস্ত কিছু ব্যাপারটা জানলাম, যে বিশেষ করে যাদের বায়োসায়েন্স ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড আছে বা কেমিস্ট্রি, জুওলজি, মাইক্রোবায়োলজি বা বিএইচএমএ এই ধরনের ডিগ্রি আছে, তাদের ক্ষেত্রে এই কোর্সটি কিন্তু এখনকার দিনের যে জব মার্কেটের যেরকম অবস্থা, তো সেক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু এই কোর্সটি খুবই একটি সুইটেবল কোর্স হবে, খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ এবং ক্যারিয়ারের পক্ষে একটি গোল্ডেন অপরচুনিটি, আই থিঙ্ক ইট ইজ। তো কোর্স ফিস নিয়ে চিন্তা করার কারণ নেই, কারণ আপনাদের পেড ইন্টার্নশিপ হবে এটাতে, যেখানে আপনাদের কোর্স ফিসটা অনেকটাই আপনারা ব্যাক পেয়ে যাবেন, এবং তারপর তো প্লেসমেন্ট অ্যাসিস্টেড কোর্সটি, এবং আপনাদের পারফরমেন্স যদি ভালো হয় অবশ্যই আমরা চেষ্টা করব সব রকমভাবে আপনাদের প্লেস করার। এবং এই কোর্সটি সমস্তটা পরিচালনা করছেন আমাদের নিওটিয়া স্কিল ডেভেলপমেন্ট একাডেমির সিইও মিস্টার কল্যাণ দেবনাথ মহাশয়। ওনাকে জানাই অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ রামকৃষ্ণ মিশন বিদ্যামন্দির পরিবারের পক্ষ থেকে। এখানে উপস্থিত ছিলেন মিস্টার অরিন্দম কুন্ডু, ওনার সাথে নিয়মিত যোগাযোগ হয় আমাদের এই কোর্সটি এবং বিভিন্ন কোর্স, ফিউচার স্কিলসের উপর বিভিন্ন কোর্স যেগুলো শুরু হবে সেইগুলো নিয়ে, তাকেও জানাই আমার নমস্কার, ধন্যবাদ। এখানে প্রথমেই প্রিন্সিপাল মহারাজ স্বামী মহাপ্রজ্ঞানন্দজি মহারাজ ওনার মূল্যবান জ্ঞানগর্ভ বক্তব্য রেখেছেন, ওনাকে জানাই আমার সশ্রদ্ধ প্রণাম। এবং এখানে উপস্থিত ছিলেন পিয়ারলেস হসপিটালের ক্লিনিক্যাল ডিরেক্টর ডক্টর শুভ্রজ্যোতি ভৌমিক, উনিও যে কথাগুলো বলেছেন খুবই মূল্যবান কথা কোর্স নিয়ে, ওনাকে রামকৃষ্ণ মিশন বিদ্যামন্দিরের পক্ষ থেকে জানাই আমার অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। ধন্যবাদ জানাই ইনফোক্লিন এলএলপির ক্লিনিক্যাল অপারেশনস যিনি আছেন মিস্টার সব্যসাচী ব্যানার্জি, ডিরেক্টর ক্লিনিক্যাল অপারেশনসের এই কোম্পানি, ওনাকে জানাই, উনি যদিও বাইরে ট্রাভেলে আছেন ব্যস্ততার জন্য, তবুও আমরা ওনাকে পেয়েছি, কিছু মূল্যবান কথা বলেছেন, ওনাকে আমরা জানাই অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ, নমস্কার। এবং আমাদের মধ্যে আরও উপস্থিত ছিলেন ডায়মন্ড হারবার গভর্নমেন্ট মেডিকেল কলেজ অ্যান্ড হসপিটালের সিনিয়র রেসিডেন্ট ডক্টর সৌম্য রয়, ওনাকেও জানাই আমার রামকৃষ্ণ মিশন বিদ্যামন্দিরের পক্ষ থেকে জানাই আমার ধন্যবাদ, নমস্কার। এবং নমস্কার, ধন্যবাদ জানাই সবশেষে যিনি জ্ঞানগর্ভ বক্তব্যগুলি প্রকাশ করে আমাদের উপকৃত করেছেন, R বাঙ্গুর হসপিটালের মেডিকেল অফিসার ডক্টর সৌমিনী চক্রবর্তীকে। উপস্থিত সকল পার্টিসিপেন্টসদের জানাই আমার ধন্যবাদ, নমস্কার, কারণ আপনারা সকলেই আপনাদের মূল্যবান সময় ব্যয় করে এখানে উপস্থিত থেকেছেন ওয়েবিনারটিতে এবং ধৈর্য ধরে সহকারে শুনেছেন। আপনাদের সকলকে আবারও বলবো রামকৃষ্ণ মিশন বিদ্যামন্দিরের পক্ষ থেকে এবং অবশ্যই নিওটিয়া স্কিল ডেভেলপমেন্ট একাডেমির তরফ থেকে, যে আপনারা যারা ইন্টারেস্টেড তারা অবশ্যই গুগল ফর্মটা ফিল আপ করে দেবেন। আপনার যদি এনি ডাউট বা কোয়ারিজ থাকে তাহলে আপনারা ইমেলও করতে পারেন আমাদের, বা ডিরেক্টলি যে ফোন নাম্বারগুলো দেওয়া আছে ওখানে কন্ট্যাক্ট করতে পারেন। এবং যদি আমি অনুপ্রেরণা দেবো সকলকে যারা ইন্টারেস্টেড আছেন যে এই কোর্সটিতে ভর্তি হয়ে যান, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই, আমরা সর্বদিক থেকে আপনাদের সহায়তা করার জন্য সবসময় প্রস্তুত থাকবো। এই বলে আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করছি। নমস্কার।
নমস্কার মহারাজ, আমরা প্রোগ্রাম শেষ করছি, কয়েকটা কথা বলে আমি শেষ করে দিচ্ছি। আমাদের টিম যোগাযোগ করবে আপনাদের সাথে, যাতে অন্য কোয়ারিজ থাকে, যে কোনো কোয়ারিজ করতে পারো, উইল বি অ্যাটেন্ডিং টু দ্যাট প্রোগ্রামস, আর ভর্তি হওয়ার প্রসেসের জন্য যোগাযোগ করবে। একটা কথা খালি আমি বলতে ভুলে গেছি, বলে দিই, এই পুরো প্রোগ্রামটার মধ্যে একটা বোনাস আছে, যেটা সায়ন্তী বলছিল, সপ্তাহে 3 থেকে 4 ঘন্টা করে সফট স্কিলের ক্লাস হয়। এবং একজনের নাম বলছিলেন কন্যাকুমারী রায়, শি ইজ সাচ এ গুড ট্রেনার্স। ওনার এরা চেয়ে ক্লাসটা করায়, প্রচুর ট্রান্সফরমেশন ওরা, সায়ন্তী বলেছে প্রত্যেকটা স্টুডেন্টের বিফোর অ্যান্ড আফটার ট্রান্সফরমেশন ইজ হিউজ, বিকজ আলটিমেটলি ইউ হ্যাভ টু কমিউনিকেট উইথ পেশেন্টস, communicate with PIs, communicate with hospital authorities, communicate with regulatory authorities. So communication plays a big role. Confidence building একটা ভালো ইম্পর্টেন্ট কাজ করে। পার্সোনালি ডেভেলপমেন্টটা খুব দরকার হয়, একটু কমিউনিকেটিভ ইংলিশটা খুব দরকার হয়। এগুলো আমরা শুরুর থেকে, প্রথম সপ্তাহ থেকে কিন্তু সপ্তাহে 3 থেকে 4 ঘন্টা আমরা স্পেন্ড করি। সো অল অফ দেম হ্যাভ বিন ট্রেমেন্ডাসলি বেনিফিটেড। সবাই কিন্তু বলেছে, দেখবেন এই দুটো ভিডিও যেটা আগে আমরা শো করেছিলাম তারাও উল্লেখ করে যে এতে করেছে। আমার মনে হয় এটা একটা বোনাস হবে স্ট্রং। সো লেটস ওয়াইন্ড ইট আপ। যা কিছু কোয়ারিজ আছে সেই কোয়ারিজগুলো আমরা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে কমিউনিকেট করবেন, আমাদের টিম আপনাদের সাথে কানেক্ট করে নেবে। আপনাদের সঙ্গে আবার দেখা হবে, ক্লাসরুমে দেখা হবে বলে আশা করছি। ডোন্ট হেজিটেট, এনি কোয়ারিজ প্রশ্ন করুন। আমার জিৎ মহলে একটা কথা বললেন, যা কোর্স ফি আছে তার একটা বড় অংশ আপনারা কিন্তু ইন্টার্নশিপের সময় রিকভারি হয়ে যাবে। সো স্পেন্ড দ্যাট অ্যামাউন্ট, ইউ গেট দ্যাট ব্যাক উইদিন দি কোর্স টেন্যুর ইটসেলফ। সো আমার মনে হয়, আর ইনফোক্লিন নিজে কি কথা বললেন, যিনি সব্যসচিব ব্যানার্জি, শুনেছেন, কনফিডেন্স আর কোনো অভাব হওয়া উচিত নয়। থ্যাংক ইউ, দেখা হবে, ভালো কাটুক। আজকে বুদ্ধ পূর্ণিমার দিন, আমাদের সময়টা ভালো গেল বলে আমি আশা করি। নমস্কার।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।